So if you haven't already, go ahead and do me a favor and like and subscribe to the channel. Lots of interesting breaking news we try to talk about on this show here. Try to go a little bit more in depth than just trying to be the first person to report on something. Try to be a little bit more accurate. So if you want more of that, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. So I've heard a lot of people talk about whether or not Trump is going to jail or prison, and a lot of it is honestly not that realistic. I mean, it just isn't. I mean, if Trump was convicted of a crime, he would be the first former president to do so. And, Trump's been accused of a lot of crimes and, could be in some trouble, some fraud trouble here and there. But prison, I don't know, that seems a little out there. At least that's what I thought until I heard this.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
For weeks and weeks, Trump has been trying to call the Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, to talk the 2020 election. Apparently, the White House has tried to call Brad 18 times. Seems a little desperate. Like, why are you so obsessed with me, bro? Like, if you were dating someone, they tried to call you 18 times in a row, and you didn't pick up, you'd probably break up with him. But this time, Brad actually decided to pick up the phone, and he hit record.
We have won this election in Georgia based on all of this. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, Brad.
As we've previously covered, after Lindsey Graham pulled the same shit a few weeks ago and got caught and got himself under investigation from the FBI, this is actually a crime. Now, I will read for you the actual statute here. It's a little wordy, so bear with me. According to Section 18 of the U.S. Code of the U.S. Constitution, whoever being a person employed by any administrative position by the United States or by any government or any department or agency uses his official authority, should be his or her, but a little old school constitution, uses his or her official authority for the purpose of interfering with or affecting the nomination or the election of any candidate for the office of president, vice president, president-elect, member of the Senate, blah, blah, blah. You can read it on the screen here. There's a lot of different officers, but they shall be fined under this title or imprisoned, not more than a year, not more than 1 year, or both. So, I don't know about you, but listening to that call, it seems that Trump might have crossed the line there. Now, you'd think Republicans would be unanimously condemning Trump for this call, but if you thought that, then you haven't been paying attention. Instead, Republicans are attacking Brad for recording the call, and I'm like, come on, seriously? You're attacking him from recording this? Have any of you guys actually heard Trump's past phone calls?
It's better to be on TV than by phone.
Yeah.
I think.
A wisecrack about the phone call they had back in July. That call, now the focus of an impeachment inquiry.
Goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. The touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air, and that's how it's passed. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5 per. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff.
Yeah, Trump's got himself a little bit of trouble on the phone there in the past, so it's pretty easy to see why Raffensperger would not want to take that call, especially after Trump's floated all these really insane conspiracy theories.
It appears that his brother, the Georgia Secretary of State's, I forget his Rappenstein, begins with an R. His name came up. His brother is an executive, apparently a very high up executive in Huawei. Now, Huawei, as you know, is a Chinese tech company.
So here's the thing. Brad Raffensperger does not have a brother. So I guess Trump is attacking anyone with the last name Raffensperger, so if that happens to be you, you've been warned. It's a real question now, could this actually lead to Trump being impeached again? Honestly, if there were more time on the clock and this was happening in November, I'd say maybe. But with just a few weeks until Biden takes over, probably not. But what this does do is it reminds us that, you can think Trump can't go any lower, right? You think he just gets to the bottom and that's it. And then he says, holds my beer, and pulls shit like this. It reminds us that he hasn't learned his lesson at all after being impeached. And he just does not give a shit about the rule of law, or apparently, flatulence.
Because we found a way in other states, Slater, excuse me, but we don't need it because we're only down 11,000 votes.
Yep, in case you missed it there, Trump might have let one loose. Apparently, he and Rudy Giuliani have a lot in common. Well, after Biden does take office a little bit later this month, we'll find out if Trump really is above the law. But he doesn't seem to be very interested in making it a little bit easier for him when he becomes a former president. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for watching Citizen Pete. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, click that little subscribe button, maybe the like button, and hey, maybe, just leave a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. What do you think about all the politics, the news, and all the stuff that's going on in our country?